Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 27th of May and today we have to see 10 selected questions. Each question is very important from your examination point of view and today's video is very important. And whenever I say that today's video is very important, please pay more attention in that video. But first you have to answer one question in the comment section. The question is Rajiv Gandhi Kisan Nyay Yojana has been launched by. These are the options. Read the options carefully and then answer this question in the comment. Let's move ahead. But before that, if you are finding these videos useful, then don't forget to like and share these videos with your friends and loved ones. Let everyone benefit out of it. And also subscribe to this channel. If you have already subscribed, then don't forget to press the bell icon. I emphasize on pressing the bell icon so that you don't miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day. By pressing on the bell icon, it will help you to get notifications of all the latest important videos from this channel, Students Point. So let's move ahead now. The first question. The Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanic Garden was founded in. So this Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanic Garden was founded in the year of 1786. So here A is the right answer. And previously it was known as Indian Botanic Garden and the Calcutta Botanic Garden. It is situated in Shibpur, which is in Havra near Kolkata in West Bengal. And it comes under Botanical Survey of India, which comes under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And it was in news recently because Cyclone Amphan has caused massive damage to the trees in Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanic Garden. The next question now. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, in short called as GERD, is being built over. So this GERD is being built over river Blue Nile. So here A is the right answer. And Ethiopia began the construction of this dam in the year of 2011 and it runs across the one part of that Ethiopian country. And after completion, this dam will be the largest Africa's hydropower project. And Egypt and Sudan has objected on the construction of this dam as Egypt and Sudan lies in the downstream of this Nile River. And recently Egypt has announced that it is willing to resume negotiations with Ethiopia and Sudan concerning this dam. Let's see it through the map. Here is the map of Africa and here is Ethiopia. This is the Blue Nile River and Ethiopia is constructing this dam, this GERD dam on this Blue Nile River. And here is Sudan, as Sudan lies in the downstream of this river, as Blue Nile later on its course join the Nile River and then it enters into Sudan and then into Egypt. So Sudan and Egypt are dependent on this Nile River for their food security and agriculture productivity. And after flowing into these countries, that is Sudan, Egypt, this Nile River drains itself into Mediterranean Sea, which is in the northern part of Africa. And here is the Red Sea and this is the part where Suez Canal has been constructed by Egypt, which gives a way to enter into Mediterranean Sea directly via this Red Sea. And this Nile River is the longest river in the world and it is also called as the father of African rivers. This Nile River has a length of 4,132 miles. It rises south of equator and flows northward through the northeastern Africa and ultimately, as I told, it drains into the Mediterranean Sea. And the Blue Nile, the White Nile and the Atbara are the three major streams joining the Nile River. And today in the afternoon I will upload the test at 1 p.m. So everyone be prepared for it. In the test we will take questions from 18th of May till 24th of May. So we have already discussed all the details of current affairs from 18th of May till 24th of May. So be prepared for it everyone. Let's move ahead. The third question. Balbir Singh Dosanjh, who passed away recently, was related to. So he was related to hockey. So here B is the right answer. He was 3-time Olympic gold medalist and he led the Indian team as captain in Melbourne Olympics, which was played in 1956. He is often referred as Balbir Singh Senior to distinguish him from other Indian hockey player named as Balbir Singh. So there is one more player in Indian hockey team who is Balbir Singh. So he was often referred to as Balbir Singh Senior. And he was the first sports personality to be awarded with this Padma Shri award in 1957 itself. and he was the only Indian among the 16 legends chosen by International Olympic Committee across the modern Olympic history. The next question now. Consider the following statements about cicadas. This question is very important. Cicadas. See, these are insects that spend most of their lives underground and emerge from the soil mainly to mate. This statement is correct. These insects spend most of their lives, probably more than around 15 or 13 years, and these insects are found in America, New Zealand, and Australia. This statement is also correct. It comes out very rarely, but once when it comes out, its life gets shortened and it only lives thereafter only for few weeks. So since here both of these statements are correct, so C is the right answer. And after emerging from ground in billions, the cicadas shed their exoskeletons or outer skin to take their winged form. And the lifespan of adult cicadas is short, about 2 to 4 weeks, during which they feed very little and they generally mate. And these noisy insects that breed underground for more than 13 to 17 years are expected to emerge into some states on the eastern coast of US this year, and that is why these were in news. The next question now. Punitus sanctus, found recently, is a new species of. So this Punitus sanctus is a new species of freshwater fish. So here C is the right answer. It belongs to family of Cyprinidae and it has been found in a small water body in Velankani, Tamil Nadu. The Puntis species are known locally as Paral in Kerala and Kende in Tamil Nadu. I repeat, it is locally known as Paral in Kerala and Kende in Tamil Nadu, and they are purely freshwater fishes. They are not marine water fishes, they are pure water fishes, and it is known as Paral in Kerala and Kende in Tamil Nadu. The next question now. Consider the following statements about Purandar Das. Again, this question is very important, a question of history or culture. Let's see. He was renowned composer of Carnatic music, a Vaishnava poet and a saint, and a social reformer. This statement is correct. He was a composer of Carnatic music, and he is widely referred as father of Carnatic music. This statement is also correct. So remember the name, that Purandar Das was known as father of Carnatic music. So here again C is the right answer. And he who lived during 1484 till 1565 was a disciple of Dvait philosopher Saint Vyas Tirtha. His guru Vyas Tirtha glorified Purandar Das in a song, that is Dasrendra Purandar Das Ray. And he gave away all his material riches to become Haridas, which means a servant of Lord Hari or Lord Krishna. And it was Purandar Das who is noted for composing Das Sahitya as a Bhakti movement vocalist, as a music scholar. And as a devotional singer, he made difficult Sanskrit tenets of Srimad Bhagavad Gita available to everyone in simple and melodious songs. And Department of Archaeology in Karnataka has recently decided that it will commence field research work to explore the archaeological evidences that may put an end to speculations regarding the birthplace of Purandar Das, because it is widely believed that Purandar Das was born in Purandargarh, which is in Maharashtra, but many claims that he belonged to Malnad. So for this reason, Department of Archaeology is going to have a research on it. The next question now. Consider the following statements about heat wave. The heat wave is considered when the maximum temperature of a station reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius for plains and for at least 30 degrees Celsius for hilly regions. This statement is correct. See, to define heat waves, there are different criteria set for different regions. For instance, for plain region, the criteria has been set for 40 degrees Celsius, and if the temperature rises above 40 degrees Celsius, then only heat wave can be declared. And for hilly regions, it is 30 degrees Celsius. And heat waves typically occur between March and June, and sometimes it even extends till July. It results into water losses from body, leads to psychological stresses, and sometimes leads to heat stroke. So here again C is the right answer. And if the normal maximum temperature of a station is less than or equal to 40 degrees Celsius, then an increase of 5 to 6 degrees Celsius from the normal temperature is considered to be heat wave conditions. See, as I told, there are different conditions and criteria fixed for defining and declaring heat waves. As such, for plain areas, if the temperature reaches up to 40 degrees Celsius, then it is declared as heat waves. For hilly region, it is 30 degrees Celsius. But in that areas where the temperature is either less than or equal to 40 degrees Celsius, but there is an increase of temperature of about 5 to 6% from the normal temperature, then it is called as heat wave in that area. Generally, it is compared with the month in which we are comparing it. For instance, suppose कीजिए कि this is a month of May. So in month of May, if the general temperature of an area remains around 38 degrees Celsius, let's say, and if it has increased this 38 degrees Celsius, which is lower than 40 degrees Celsius, and if it increases up to 5 to 6% in the month of May, then it will be declared as heat wave in that area. I hope you understand it. And if the temperature remains below 40 degrees Celsius or equal to 40 degrees Celsius, but there is an increase of around 7 degrees Celsius or more, then that condition is declared as severe heat wave condition. There is difference between heat wave and severe heat wave. Severe heat wave, the name itself suggests, is more dangerous than heat wave, as the temperature increases here either 7% or even more. Also, if the actual temperature of a region remains 45 degrees Celsius or more, irrespective of the normal maximum temperature of that region, then heat wave is declared for that region as well. I hope you are getting the differences. These are definitions for different regions because different regions has different temperature, and based on their normal temperature for any particular period of time and the increase in temperature for that particular period of time, the criteria has been set. And recently, Indian Meteorological Department IMD has forecasted that heat wave to severe heat wave conditions over northwest and central adjoining peninsular India, along with heavy rain over the northeast India. So regions of northwest India and central India is going to witness heat wave or even severe heat waves, while northeast India will witness rainfall. The next question now. India-China border is divided into, so it is divided into 3 sectors. Last day in a separate video we have discussed all the details about ongoings on the region of Galwan Valley and Pangong Tso Lake and what actions India is taking against the Chinese intrusion. Today we have to see details about India-China border, which is divided into 3 sectors. These are divided into western sectors, middle sector, which is also called as central sector, and then eastern sector. So the LAC, that is line of actual control in the western sector, falls in the Union Territory of Ladakh, where the present dispute is ongoing, and it is 1597 km long. So it is the longest sector of Indian and China border. While the middle sector is of 545 km length, it falls into Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. While the eastern sector has 1346 km and it falls into state of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. Remember the states and the sector. Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh falls into eastern sector, and then middle sector adjoins Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and then in western sector Ladakh shares the border. So let's have a look on the map. This is the region where the western sector is located, and here the dispute is ongoing. This is the part of Aksai Chin which has been occupied by China since long, and this is the region of central sector or middle sector. This is the least disturbed area. However, we cannot remain assured of its least disturbance because Chinese can intrude anytime, anywhere, and they can claim any part, not only India, including Asia. And this is a part of eastern sector. This is a part of Sikkim and this is a part of Arunachal. So borders of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim are located into eastern sector. So these are the regions of border which you must keep in mind. And the western sector witnesses the highest transgression between these two sides. India sees China as occupying 38,000 square kilometer in Aksai Chin, while in east China claims 90,000 square kilometer extending all across Arunachal Pradesh. Not surprisingly. So next question now. Consider the following statements about Katkari tribes. It is one of the 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups, in short called as PVTZs. This statement is correct. And the Katkaris are located primarily in Raigad and in parts of Palghar, Ratnagiri and Thane districts of Maharashtra and in some places of Gujarat. This statement is also correct. We have seen many times questions related to private, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So here both of these statements are correct. So C is the right answer again. And the Katkari tribal was in news recently because youths of this tribe from Sahapur in Maharashtra are making names by selling Giloy and other products online during the lockdown period. They received help from Pradhan Mantri Van Dhan Yojana run by TriFed, which means Tribal Cooperative Market Development Federation of India. Under this Yojana, TriFed aims to enhance the income of tribals by helping them to retail sell their minor forest produces. And in 1973, it was the Debar Commission which created this primitive tribal groups. Later, it was named by Government of India as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Let's see the next question. But before that, don't forget to like the video, share the video with your friends and loved ones, and press the subscribe button as well as on the bell icon to receive all the notifications of the all latest important videos. The last question is, Mera Pani Meri Virasat scheme has been launched by? So this scheme has been launched by the state of Haryana. So here C is the right answer. It aimed at crop diversification to move away from water guzzling paddy, and it provides rupees 7,000 per acre if farmers sow alternative crops other than paddy during the Kharif season. And recently it was in news because farmers from Haryana are protesting against the state government's order under which farmers have to diversify at least 50% of their last year cultivated paddy, which means rice, by growing alternate crops. So if you have not liked it, like the video, share the video with your friends, answer the question in the comment section, press the bell icon, wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay at your home, stay safe, and thanks a lot.